Buddy, welcome to this video or this tutorial. For those of you who are used to my regular tutorials, this is not a regular one. We have an assignment due in my C programming class, and some people need some assistance, so this is what this tutorial is for. Now, for those of you who still want to watch, just to see how I do it, for this tutorial we have to create sort of a lottery generator. We have to prompt the user to input a number between 39 and 49, and then generate numbers from 1 to that value, whatever value they input, and generate random numbers in that sequence. Okay, so that's just an overview of what it is. So we need, let me zoom in. So we need to use these functions right here. That's what the professor said, so we have to. And we have these three includes. Now for these two includes, just to clarify, we need them for the random function. Now the reason why we have sran there and time null is there because if we don't have this there, then whenever we generate random numbers, they're all going to be the same. Now a quick thing is that there's no such thing as a random number when it comes to computers. In order to generate random numbers, there is a complex math algorithm in order to generate a different number every single time. So in order for that to happen, we need to have it generate a seed time, and the seed time you generate is time null. And what that does is get the current time from the system, the internal system clock, and then from that it generates random numbers. So that's a quick overview, and if you want to learn more about it, then you can watch my C++ random tutorials, and when I get around to it, when I make my C programming tutorials, you can watch about random numbers. So anyways, so I have the function prototypes down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create the validate function. Now I'm not gonna create it properly. I'm not doing any error checking to save time, and you guys have to do something yourselves. You guys can't just watch copy code and not add anything yourself, right? So simple enough. All we're gonna do in here, all we need to do is to find out the value between 39 and 49. Now you need to do error checking to see if they inputted a wrong value, but that's up to you to do, not for me. So we're just gonna get an answer. We're gonna assume they enter a right answer, and we will return that answer. So on the getRand function, the limit is going to be the number that they input in here. So all we have to do for the rand function is return rand %limit plus 1. That's all we have to do. So you could do it in 3 lines. You could say, or like in 2 lines, whatever, but all we need to do is return this value. And all this is saying is return a random number between 1 and the value in our parameters. So that's simple enough. So in our validate pick, and let me just copy this. So in our validate pick, we have to make sure that our pick is not equal to any of these in the parameter right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an array. So I'm going to call this temp array. Now I wasn't in class yesterday when they learned about arrays, but so I don't know if you guys learned on how to initialize arrays once you declare them, but this is how you do it. So you specify your type, the name of the array, opening and closing square brackets, equals to an opening and closing brace. So each of the elements in the array you put them in, and they're followed by a comma. Okay, so that should be simple enough. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna use a simple for loop, and I'm gonna say is less than 5. So remember, arrays start from the index 0 and count up. So if there's 5 indexes, as 5 elements, like you see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements, then the array ranges from 0 to 4. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna say if pick is equal to temp array I, then we return 0. and if not, return 1. Now, I don't know if this is going to confuse you, and I don't want to go too in depth about arrays because then this tutorial will be way too long. So if arrays confuse you, then watch my C++ arrays tutorial, because C++ and C arrays are the exact same. But basically what I did here is that I said if pick, what we're going to do is we're going to loop through this whole array right here, right? So we have 5 elements, right? So we're going to say if pick is equal to temp array I, then we return 0, which means they are the exact same. And remember, when we return a value, then the whole function exits, okay? And then, so if it is not equal to any of those values, then the for loop is going to finish, obviously, and then it will return 1, meaning that it's not equal to any of these elements in the array. So what it's going to do quickly, so it's going to say, first I is going to be equal to 0. So it's going to say if pick is equal to first, then we return 0. If it doesn't, then we go to the top. I is going to increase by 1, so I is going to be equal to 1. So it's going to check for this index. If pick is equal to this, then we return 0. If not, we keep on looping, and so on and so forth. If it is not equal to any of these, then the for loop will end, and we'll return 1, and that will be the end of our function. So last but not least, we have to print everything to the screen. So we're only going to print between 3 to 6 values, okay? That's why we have 1 to 6. Okay, so we're going to create another array, and we'll copy this. And we'll add in 6th in there. And then we'll do a for loop from 0 to I is less than n. And we'll say printf up here, your numbers are, and then we do printf %d with it followed by a space, and we'll put in temp array I. And the reason why I don't have the curly braces is that if you're using any type of loop or if statement or whatever, if you're only executing one statement, then you don't need the curly braces. Whenever you don't have the curly braces, it executes the statement directly below that. So that's just for you guys to know. If you want to add the braces, you can, but you don't need them. So what this is going to do is that whatever number they input, so the amount that they're going to display, whether it be 3 or 4 numbers, say they want to display 4 numbers, it will display 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then it will exit the for loop. So those are our functions. So how are we going to input them now? So what we're going to say, we're going to have an index. We're going to have I guess range, and it's gonna be equal to validate. So it's gonna be between 39 and 49, and we're going to have our picks. So by default they're gonna be equal to -1. So let's have 6. So what's gonna go on here? So after we call our validate function, then we're gonna have a do while loop, okay? And we'll say while index is less than 6, and you'll see why I have this here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say in num or whatever is equal to get rand and the range that we get from up here, okay? So we're gonna specify that in there. And oh yeah, don't forget to put the square brackets there. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna say that if validate pick, the number that we get from here, and then we have to put in our picks 0, picks 1, picks 2, and anybody who's worked with arrays knows this. Like, this is a really bad way of doing it, but we have to do this for our assignment, so might as well just do it. So we're going to say if this is equals to 1, then we do something. Okay, so if this returns 1, so if this whole function returns 1, this means that this number is not equal to any of the numbers is in here, which is what we want. So what we'll say is pix index is equal to num and index plus plus. And that's all we need to do. And I'm going to explain this after, but after we do that, then all we're going to do is we'll prompt the user, please, wait, how many numbers would you like to display? And you're gonna have to do error checking for this too, but I'm not doing this as well. So it has to be a number between 3 and 6. So we're gonna do scanf. And remember, in proper C, you have to declare all your variables and stuff at the top. So we'll say ampersand answer. So once we get our answer, and remember, you have to do error checking. So once you do that and you get your answer, then we do what we call our print function. And our answer will be the number we go through, and we have to say pix 0, pix 1, pix 2, pix 3, pix 4, and pix 5. And for now, since I'm using Visual Studio, I'm just going to put system pause in there. This is just so that the program doesn't open and close quickly, right? But when we input it, when we submit it, don't include this line there. This is just for testing purposes when I'm using Visual Studio. So if we run this, hopefully we'll get the right results. So I have to input a number between 39 and 49, so 40. And our index is out of range. Not sure what this is, but let me pause this for a second. Okay, it's simple. It's idiotic thing I never did, but we never set a value for index, so it doesn't know what index is. So let's set it to 0. Stop debugging and just re-debug. So we put in a value. How many would you like to display? So we say 4. Our numbers are 2, 6, 28, and 14. And this press any key to continue is because I put system pause there. But yeah, we generated again, so let's test it one more time. We'll say 48. Let's say 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All the numbers are unique. So that is it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you understood it. If you haven't understood it, then make a comment below, post my forum, message me on Facebook. If you have my number, text me or whatever. But I hope you gain something from this. So thanks for watching, and bye.